Welcome back to Fox 5's On the Hill live this Sunday morning. It has been more than 1,000 days of fighting. The war in Ukraine is escalating. Russia confirming on Friday that it had fired a new experimental intermediate range ballistic missile, or an IRBM, at Ukraine. This is in response to Kyiv's use of American and British supplied long-range missiles inside of Russia. Russia's President Vladimir Putin warning that the missile moves so fast that American air defense systems cannot stop it. Joining us live once again this morning, Rebecca Grant. She is a global security analyst who has been tracking this war from the beginning. Rebecca, good to see you this morning. To the layperson, this seems like a very concerning development in this. As an expert, how do you see it?
This new Oreshnik missile is just more 1960s technology out of Russia. It's not really new, although it was fired off a test range. It's a depressed trajectory, medium-range ballistic missile that can fire multiple warheads. And that's a technology that Russia's had for decades. I'm going to tell you, this is not a true hypersonic scramjet missile. It just happens to go real fast when it's coming close to the ground. Putin did this because he was mad about ATACMS, and he's trying to influence the new Trump team. I've kind of lost count of the times that Putin has rattled the nuclear saber, and this is just one more example.
So we've had a couple of things like this missile, the introduction of North Korean troops recently. NATO is going to be meeting about this, or having another emergency meeting about Ukraine. The clock is ticking now on the Biden administration. What's going on with NATO right now? Are they setting up a post-Biden presidency take on this?
Much more concerning for NATO members is their own air defense. You know, a lot of them have Patriot missiles and other systems. They know Russia's a threat for the long term, and so they're very concerned about defending their own ports and capitals and just keeping that strong deterrence. They also want to see what the solution is for Ukraine's security long term. If this war ended tomorrow, we'd still have a very powerful, resurgent Russia to deal with. And then, yes, they're taking the temperature of the Trump administration, but indications are, such as Chancellor Scholz's discussions with Trump and then with Putin, that everyone's looking to see if they can get Ukraine enough leverage to enter a meaningful negotiation with Putin.
So, Rebecca, throughout this war, we had heard from the Biden White House that they were not going to allow long-range U.S. weapons that would go into Russia. That's happening now. Why the change, and why now?
And it's really too late. I'm so frustrated with how Biden has done this. But in this case, I think he's done the new Trump team a favor. He's authorized very limited, very controlled strikes. Remember, our chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, C.Q. Brown, Air Force airman, he knows how to do direct small strikes like this. And this means that when Trump comes in, he can either authorize more ATACMS, he can back it off. It gives him more negotiating room, and it does give Ukraine more leverage. Don't forget, these ATACMS have been used on Russian targets in Ukraine, like Crimea, in the past, and the British have joined into using their kind of equivalent Storm Shadow missile. These are legitimate military weapons going against legit Russian targets.
Great update. Global security analyst Rebecca Grant joining us live on the Hill this morning. Rebecca, we thank you. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
All right, up next, we're going to take a closer look at President-elect Donald Trump's appointments for his cabinet. Fox 5's On the Hill continues live right after the break.